Good morning, everybody. A couple days ago, I made a post about talking about how to get over the fear of being seen and heard. Because for a lot of people who know me, I was a broadcaster for about, you know what, I still off and on go on the broadcasting app. I haven't religiously like I used to, but I was a broadcaster for the better part of like 3 years full time. Where, I mean, at any given time in the day, if you wanted to talk to me or see me, you could find me on this broadcasting app. And we talked about absolutely everything. So when I started my business here recently in this last 10 months, 11 months, I guess now, to, um, well, initially, I guess I started it as an affiliate marketer, and that wasn't like going as planned, even with all the amazing like affiliates that I work for and sell for um, and stuff like that. Like I only take on companies that I absolutely believe in, and a lot of them have helped me get my start in my business. Um, sorry. Um, so like I never seen how I could be afraid of being seen and heard. Especially when like I have over 8,000 followers on LiveMe, and I spend so much time there talking to people that, like getting on here and doing these videos never felt hard to me, hasn't felt hard to me. Um, and I always have enough to say, I always have tons to say, especially since I've learned so much in this last 10 months. But the affiliate marketing, like I wasn't being seen, even though I was like, man, like all these companies have given me like this next to nothing start. Like I'm coming from 3 years of being almost bedridden, not being able to work, not being able to do anything, and finally feeling better. And like in feeling better, like my original thought was, man, I got to share this with the world. Like I know so many people struggling the way I am. I know that there's so many people in the world that deserve um to have the next start, or their new start like I did. But the things that I've learned along the way are you have to be ready. There's a lot of healing involved. I've always had a positive outlook on life. I've always looked to the positive side of every negative thing. This last thing that took me down was the first time that I didn't see an out, like that I didn't see a positive ending. I didn't see beyond the pain anymore. I woke up every morning wishing that I hadn't. And that's terrifying to say out loud. And that's something that, is still hard for me to share today because that's never been me. That's never been me. No matter how much pain I've been in, no matter how many like people have let me down, no matter how guilty I felt because I let somebody down because I wasn't who they wanted me to be or whatever the case may be. I've always just found the positive reason behind whatever had happened and kept on going and dust myself off and keep going. So imagine waking up one day and thinking, man, like why? And I felt that way after my appendix burst. But that was more guilt. That was like a lot of survivor's guilt. We lost a lot of people that year. And then the year that my 9-year relationship ended after that, about 3 years after that, I lost my family essentially. So, I raised two daughters for 9 years and all of a sudden they were gone. So, so again, like I got entangled up in emotion that, where I didn't have a positive. I had panic attacks leaving my house because for 9 years I'd been told every time I left the house I was cheating. So, so I really um, didn't know where to go from there. And that took a lot of work. But in doing that work, I realized I didn't know who I was. And in the years leading up to this, I didn't really go on a quest to find out who I was. I really just kind of floated, changed job after job. My pain was starting to elevate. I didn't know how to make it stop, going to doctor after doctor after doctor telling me I was fine. COVID hit. I got told I was the healthiest person that they'd seen during COVID. And I'm like, 40-year-olds can get out of bed. Healthy 40-year-olds can get out of bed. I'm like, I can't get out of bed. I'm like, there's something wrong, but nobody ever told me to go inside. Never, nobody at that point, nobody said, like, let's do some spiritual work and see what you're missing. It was all your brain is fine, your body's fine, everything looks fine, your levels are fine, everything is healthy in you. So, when you get told that you're healthy again, because, at 16, I was going through the same thing. I was having like these really odd pains in my skin. And, I had, you know, kind of shifted my life probably from a decent path to a not so decent path again, but, not a terrible path. I mean, I've never been one of those people that, wanted to get in trouble or started doing things that hurt others or whatever. I really just wanted to make a living. I really honestly seen, myself taking care of my parents in their retirement, helping people out, doing more for the world than just existing. Um, Established at a fairly young age that I didn't think I was gonna have children, and I didn't, and now I've had a full hysterectomy and can't, after my appendix burst. So again, like, there was a lot of sorrow in me, a lot of pain that I never acknowledged, a lot of healing that I didn't acknowledge because I was always happy-go-lucky, and I wasn't faking it. I was happy even when I was alone. Hell, I was happier when I was alone. So, like, it's not like these people who go to work and fill up all their time and then go home and are miserable at the end of the day. I literally have always been happy. I'm happy in behind closed doors. I'm happy in front of open doors. I'm just happy. Like, it was only the last 2.5 years where I wasn't happy. And I was honestly not happy, not because of the way my life has been or where I was at. I was living in one of the most beautiful places on earth that I'd always wanted to live in. I didn't have, like, any qualms about who I was hanging out with, and the people who were with me loved me and took care of me, and so I didn't have any unhappiness because of where I was at. I was legit unhappy because I couldn't work. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything beyond wake up 5 times a night crying, and on decent days where, like, my body had some give, I mean, my boyfriend took me out to the most beautiful places, like backcountries and hiking and stuff, so I had nothing to be unhappy about except for the pain that made me to the point where I really didn't wanna live anymore. And so, you know, when I got blessed with the process that took that pain away, I realize now that I was in a place where I was ready to heal. I was ready to go beyond and go a lot deeper, and my higher self recognized that I was at the end of my end of my wits. But before that, in trying to get me onto the spiritual path that I've finally taken, my appendix burst. And I lived through that, and I shouldn't have lived through that. Doctors like were astounded because when I showed back up at the hospital and my appendix was missing, at that point they're like, "Well, we need to operate," and they had me on blood thinners, so they couldn't operate. So now they had to keep me alive for like 3 more days before my blood was thick enough that they could actually take my appendix out. So here I am, instead of being, "Oh my God, I'm blessed with a healing gift," I'm looking at myself like, how did I live and these other people died? And I went into self-pity mode and rejected that calling again. So the pain lifting was really the last calling for me to say, hey, like, you're gifted and you have gifts to share with the world. So wake up and share them. But again, I still fought that, even though when I got blessed with that and I was like, oh God, I'm awake and I can do this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so wonderful. Like, I can move every day and I'm not hurting. It still took me 3 months before I found my teacher. And I had found her years before, and I had, but I wasn't on top of that. Took more classes, magnetic, conscious creation, that magnetic minds, and I followed that, like, those programs, but they weren't calling to me. They weren't resonating with me. I was understanding the information. I was taking in the information because I still wanted to get my business going. I still wanted to have a business, and I thought it was just going to be selling people stuff, affiliate marketing, selling people goods that they don't need, or whatever, just materialistic things. I really honestly felt like that was all this meant, was that I got to go work online so I could travel. Like, I have my travel writing certificate. I got a certificate in tourism, travel and tourism. I have a business and marketing management diploma. I have a nursing diploma. Like, I have, always loved learning. I've always felt that learning was always going to be a huge part of my life. So then I started on the spiritual path and I started doing readings for people, and they were absolutely enthralled with the readings they got from me. And they were like, wow, I just gave you my name and your readings have been spot on. And like, you gave me next steps and your words were gentle, but encouraging, and also letting me know where I might be struggling and where I might need to make changes. So, I've had a lot of amazing feedback, which is all on my website, notallwhowanderarlost.ca. I have a testimonials page that I've started, and that's only a few of the ones. Like, I don't even have a good number of them up there yet, that I've done for people. So, like, that makes me feel really good. So now I got really encouraged to go out and do readings, but then there was still this fear in me, and I keep getting these readings myself because I'm still in my classes, and the readings are like, that fear of being seen and not being seen and heard. So when I got the inkling to do this post, it was due to a dream, because on top of everything else, I've been blessed with the ability to utilize my dreams for messages from my guides. And this one was that, like, it basically took me back and showed me in my childhood where this being the fear of being seen and heard came from, and then like progressed me forward through life to where it's affecting me today. So again, as with my first 3 videos that I just did up, a lot of everything that you're about to go through in life, like if you're watching me, if you're here with me, discovering your soul's purpose, literally takes a lot of healing and a lot of digging up into traumas that you don't want to deal with. But I got 3 pieces of really good news about this. First off, if you can discover and you have an awareness of where those issues have started, and just you don't even have to know, but you just know that they stem from your past, and you're willing to actually have a willingness to heal from them. It takes minutes, not days, not years, not like it can be done fast, as long as you show up, as long as you're willing to have this healing done. um and then secondly, it's you don't have to revisit the traumas. Yes, they're going to flash into your mind. Yes, you're going to have an awareness of them, but the amount of awareness that you're gonna have of them, that awareness is gonna lead straight to the healing. So you're always gonna have that lesson. It's going to stay with you, but you're not going to be reliving it constantly. You're not gonna have to delve into that emotion. And if the first time doesn't work, because healing happens in layers. So you may have a knowledge of that first one, but we're gonna go higher than that. We're gonna visit your higher self, and your higher self is gonna help us go back lifetimes if needed, to help you get through where your fear of being seen and heard is. So as I healed that, I realized that being seen has never been my issue, because, like I say, I broadcasted for 3 years continuously, 15 hours a day, where people would stay with me that whole time. People who had been on that app for years and would just broadcast hop, and they would stay with me for hours. And I made someone like, even on my low level days, I had some of the most highest levels be friends with me. And if anybody has dealt with any of those broadcasting apps, you'll know that you go in as a low level and get blocked if you have anything to say, because people are dirty and people like use the app for like not appropriate things. So, there's a lot of lack of trust that happens when you're on them. Um, but I was friends with some of like the most highest levels and accepted into broadcast because of my respect level, because of my personality, because of the friends that I initially made upon hopping on the app before I even knew what broadcasting was, even before I knew what I was doing. I just like coincidence has it and synchronicities have it, I just happened to fall with the right people at the right time. And, it's been years since I've broadcasted and been on that app on a regular basis, but to this day, my best friends have all come from that app. So, like, I mean, I feel like it woke me up. It taught me that I had something to offer the world, when even at a time then, like that was, before the pain took over, where I really truly didn't feel like I had anything to offer. But after my appendix had burst and I was really like down and out and really feeling like my relationship had ended, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer the world, and being on that app really gave that back to me. Realizing that I love to make people smile, that I wanted to help more people see the joy in days. Like I wouldn't, it was check your problems at the door. So if you came into my broadcast, yeah, you were having a bad day, we didn't let it come out in the chat. I'm like, you can DM me, you can tell me, we can empathize behind the scenes, but we're here to laugh. We're all avoiding something. We're all here to escape our issues. We didn't want to be there and feel sad with everybody. We were there to laugh. So, like, don't be offended. I empathize with your problems, but here's a happy place. This is a place where you get to come and check your problems at the door. Know that they're, if you want them to be there when you leave my broadcast, they're still going to be there when you leave my broadcast. But for now, those problems are checked at the door. We're going to have a laugh. And there's so many people that didn't even tell me their problems behind the scenes, but just said, you know what, you made my day. You made this seem so trivial, what I'm going through, and so much better with the laugh. Like you've definitely made me realize that I've been concentrating on the wrong things in life. And even then, even that being, God, that was 2017, so quite some time ago now. When I started, I quit broadcasting in about 2019, 2020. So about 4 years ago, where I really put it aside and wanted to be more engulfed in real life because I lost balance there. I ended up being a lot more online than offline. I always had my phone in my hands. I never looked down. My friends were on my phone. I never took that time. But then when the pain hit, I let go of online and I held on to my real life. But like I said, like some of my best friends stayed in the background. It just wasn't in the foreground of my life. Like I tried to be more present and stuff like that, not even understanding at the time how much that meant. So fast forward to right now, the whole conversation here, the fact that there's still a fear of being heard. So I never had a fear of being seen. Still don't fear being seen. In fact, I like being seen. I like being seen, but then as soon as I'm heard, as soon as somebody gives me that attention, I clam up. I don't know what to say. I get lost. My important messages seem to fly out the window with that nervousness that hits me. And I realize that it stemmed from something that I witnessed in my past that I had been basically told not to ever mention. And because if I mentioned it, that nobody believed me because of my age, anyways, and blah 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 blah. One of those instances. And I can't honestly tell you exactly when or where or who. I just know that it happened. So I believe that I wouldn't ever be heard, that no matter what I had something to say, something important to say, that nobody would ever be listening to me. So not to say it anyways, because I couldn't make a difference. And in that dream and in moving forward, when I woke up, I literally took all the processes that I've learned, all the recode processes, the neurohypnosis processes, working with my higher self, and I just went back and I recoded that and I just changed that. And instantly everything started to change. My views gone up, like everything in my world has already started to lift. I can still say that I feel a twinge of pain when I talk about it. So, there's still a little bit of fear. And I've also attributed this to somehow I've correlated this with jumping off a diving board. And so I still feel like a resistance when I'm standing up on this diving board trying to jump off of it. So I know that I'm still still healing and I'm probably still missing maybe a different emotion that I haven't gone back to tackle yet. But at the same time, I don't feel that fear anymore. And then I also realized that part of that fear was actually the not just a fear of being heard, but that fear of obligation. And I learned that with my friend Rachel that would join me with on the third video that is a Zoom recording. So if you ever get a chance, go back into my Facebook or I'm going to try and get it onto YouTube today as well. But if you go back to Facebook, they are all saved there and shared there publicly. Maybe there's a reason I can't be heard. No, just kidding. But we have a special together with my giving you a reading by me and Crystal Reiki Healing Hospital by her, all in a to help get you started on that healing, because starting that healing journey is really what's going to send you forward into your soul's purpose. Once you start healing and start listening to the synchronicities, start listening to the intuitions and everything that starts flowing to through, as soon as you truly actually accept that spiritual path, and I'm not talking religion. I mean, my great friend Hallie, she's using religion as the start in her basis because, she needed to find her way back as well. And all of this in really is a connection to source, a connection to the divine, whether you consider it the universe, nature, or God. It doesn't, uh, it's not subject to, one or the other. It's true spiritualism in just having the belief of something greater. So that's really where I've taken this, in that, in order to be seen and heard, in order to be successful, no matter what you are drawn towards, make sure that whatever it is you have desire for, especially if you're struggling. If you're struggling, why are you struggling? What are you missing? Is it what, if like, because my desire is helping other. My desire is to help you find your soul's purpose. My desire is to help heal the physical pain and the emotional pain that has come with denying the spiritual side of your life. Like where you're out of balance in your energies. That those are my desires, all, noble. And, in doing that, I just want to live a happy, healthy life myself. as you see, like, I mean, I love nature. This is where my videos are filmed. This is where I do my work because this is where I love to be. This is where I feel most confident. This is where I feel most happy and in love is in nature. So even when, I have a beautiful home and a beautiful office and a beautiful space, this is where you'll see me working because this is where I feel most at home. This is where I I feel most connected to everything that I'm talking about is out in nature. So, like you may see me on a miserable cold day hanging out in my car or when I have an office, still chilling in the office on a really cold day because, I don't do cold very well. But but beyond that, like if it's a nice enough day, I'll bundle up and I'll be out here, showing you the beautiful world because this is what we're missing. This is what like most of society is missing right now is that connection to nature. And that's not going out on the golf course. It's not hopping on your quad and ripping through the trees. It's literally taking a deep breath, stopping and just embracing the beauty around you. And once you start doing that, the healing gets easier. All of the other things seem trivial, seem insignificant. And with the neurohypnosis processes that I've learned and practice, as well as the readings that I give, it's all in order to help push you towards your soul's purpose, help you start healing, help you get past this fear, whatever it stems from. Because for some people, it's actually going to be being seen. Oh, I can't be on camera. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not handsome enough. We all have these reasons. But really, if you have a message to tell somebody, the right people are going to end up when you're ready. They're going to end up in front of you. Um, if it's being heard, that throat chakra gets a little blocked and we run out of things to say or we don't know how to say them. All of that, as you heal and as you balance all of this and get rid of these blocks through your chakras and whatnot, all of the words come to you. You learn how to be present and in a state of mind that the words will just flow and you won't have to worry about what to say anymore because you're going to just trust that the information that you want to give to people is going to be there. As for the obligation part, when you're making a business, you want more time for yourself, like that's why affiliate marketing really stood out to me because it's like, well, it runs in the background and blah, 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 blah. But what I realize is that doesn't get my message out there. So even if I have income coming in the background, I still have to be present and obligated to my time, but it doesn't have to be all of your time. So just know that even if 1 million people love what you have to say, there is going to be those ways for you to get your information out there that is going to be available to people all the time. That when you do have a plan with your family and a vacation and all of these wonderful things that get to come up, you're still going to be available to the people that need you in different ways. You don't have to worry about dedicating 99% of your time the way you do at your 9 to 5 job right now. So, and like you don't have to do 8 to 10 hours a day. I get up in the morning, I have like 5 hours. I get up early enough, like, and I meditate and I have book club, which is amazing, which we read so many awesome books. Definitely look at, again, my website. It gives you the link and stuff for book club. And we've changed the times again, but those will all be updated on my website. So, it's just really knowing that your obligations are exactly what you want them to be. You get to make a schedule and schedule your time exactly how you want it to be. And then you just do things like these, like videos that, for all the information that you want to have to people, and you take bits and pieces of it and you put it out there so people always have the information that you want to give them at their fingertips. And then over and above that, all your extra time goes exactly where you want it to go. And yeah, there's some long days and some short days, but overall the time is in your hands. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel like you need a you day, you get to have that you day. So stressing over the obligation that you're making to people when you're stepping up into your business and whatnot, just keep in your mind that it is okay. It is okay to be scared. It is okay to be worried that, like, well, what happens when the world sees me? What happens when the world hears me and wants to hear more from me? Well, you get to offer that information on your own time. So, it's okay to let go of that fear and shed that fear because you get to make the choices. Whereas in the past, if you have felt that the choices weren't yours to make, you can make that decision and that choice that everything that you do with your life is now your decision. You get to make the choice and move forward however you see fit. So, I think that's all I have for today. And this was supposed to be a 10-minute video that turned into a 25-minute one. So, like I said, when the time is right and you let go of all those fears, everything that you need to get out to the world is going to be easy. It's just going to come naturally to you. And if it's not coming naturally yet, it's still time to go inside. It's still time to keep doing that inner work until you find that peace and that healing that actually gets you one step further. Because we're all in different places. When my pain lifted, I didn't understand the process. I didn't need to understand the process. I was ready for it to be gone, and my higher self knew exactly what to do. So when you're ready and you're truly ready, the person with the information is going to show up in front of you. So if you're watching this video, maybe it's me, maybe it's not me, maybe this was only the only information that you needed to get from me. But if it's not, know that I have so much more to offer, that the readings that I give are from the heart and out of love, and to get you one step further, or maybe 50 steps further to your soul's purpose. And then the healings that I offer, they're a little different. They're the neurohypnosis style. They talk to your higher self and they take you back. But for me, I did the crystal Reiki healing with Rachel, and she was fucking amazing. And she took me places that I never expected my body and my brain to go, stuff that I thought I had gotten over. So, so there's so many different steps and different layers of healing to do, and all of them are important. And if you feel called for them, don't turn away from them. Find ways to do them, because you're only cheating yourself if you don't. So, have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.